So stretched is the thin blue line that the national policing watchdog now says British policing is in a potentially perilous state, with some forces in England and Wales struggling to respond to shrinking resources.
In this report, we're saying we're seeing worrying signs of deterioration in some forces, of demand being suppressed, of rationing happening as an unintended consequences of responses to austerity.
Although 2/3 of forces are good, others are using alarming coping strategies. The report found emergency calls being downgraded to justify a slower response, some crimes being written off by forces unable to cope, and 67,000 suspects not entered on the police database. And some forces are failing to respond to vulnerable victims. When Zoe Dronfield reported her ex-partner for stalking, she felt the police didn't have the resources to deal with it.
It's very much felt like a time constraint really, because, they just want to come out, get the information that they need. We've been out, we've dealt with this call, and then they've ticked a box and gone on.
And what did that lead to in your case?
Well, horrific circumstances in my case, because obviously I felt as if the police weren't listening to me.
Zoe tried to deal with the situation in person. She ended up beaten unconscious and stabbed in the neck. Not that life is easy for the police either. 9 years ago, ITV filmed with Constable Laura Beale, the poster girl for Devon and Cornwall Police. But now she's quit after suffering stress and anxiety.
I'm surprised it's taken this long for it to go public at how bad everything is getting. I've yet to. I can't remember the last time I spoke to a police officer who says I love my job.
Out of 43 forces, only Durham was rated outstanding. 13 more, including the Met Police in London, were told they require improvement. And one, Bedfordshire, was rated inadequate. But the Chief Constable of Bedfordshire does not agree.
Well, very frustrated and quite saddened actually by the fact the HMIC have graded Bedfordshire Police as inadequate. The only way you could describe Bedfordshire Police as inadequate is with regards to our funding and our resources.
Yet both the HMIC and the government insist this is not just about resources.
What this is about, and that's very clear in the HMIC report, is how different forces are using the money they've got. So Durham, which is not by any way one of the highest funded forces in the country, is outstanding.
It is in part about there not being as much money as there used to be to go around, isn't it?
Well, HMIC themselves are very clear. This is not about the levels of funding. We've seen actually...
It's not all about the funding.
Well, actually, if we look at it, the detail is that the police over the last few years has increased its reserves by for just over £400 million. That means that's money they haven't spent. They've been able to save up.
Yet nationwide, there is also a severe shortage of police investigators, and those who are left are working under increasing pressure.